Polaris Best of 9 series. This is game number 1 for a new series here between Goku and TaToH, and I'm looking forward to this set of games. I like to see TaToH play. It's always a fun player, and obviously Goku, after beating VH, he certainly has what it takes to be in the 2K plus Polaris series bracket, or whatever it's called. And yeah, first game of the day going to be on Team Islands, which is one of the better water maps in my opinion. It's a map where there's a lot more opportunities for an upset or a landing or anything along those lines. It can certainly be an interesting map to watch, and it's not always about just, you know, a full-on galley war. And although water maps are pretty stale in AOC from time to time, I think this is one of the better ones for those reasons, as I say. So we'll introduce the players, see where they're at, and see how this is going to go down. Obviously no betting today, since this game, or these games, have already been played. We're going to be casting the recorded games here, since I'm not able to cast these games live. So in the red, down the South Island, we have TaToH, and he's playing as the Vikings, of course. The Vikings, the number one water civ, without a shadow of a doubt. And he's down here in the south, in the red, as the Vikings. Up to the north of the map, in the grey, we've got Goku, the defending champion, and he's playing as the Vikings as well, of course. We have another Wololo, though. Right away, Elite Teutonic Knight, subbed for 6 months in a row. Thank you very much, man. Much appreciated for the continued support and all of that jazz. Awesome. 6 months, man. That's a long time. 6 months is a long time. And let's hope the next 6 months are just as good as our last. Getting all soppy. Alright, so yes, Goku up to the north, and of course TaToH down to the south. This is a map where docking on the front is pretty common. And a dock on the front can be good because it allows you to get aggressive very quickly. A dock on the back is also possible, but it's worth noting that the fish on the back of the map aren't as reliable as in the center. The center usually has much better fishing, and for that reason, the players that dock on the back can't guarantee they will have good fish in, you know, for sure. They can never be too sure. But playing on the back could lead to a fast castle and fires, which is very, very, very rarely seen. But it can work, though very, very rarely it will work. Very rarely is it seen, and very rarely will it work for that reason. Ting Ting, yes, we were very, very close to 250. We're at 244 subscribers at the end of last stream. However, we dipped down a bit in the meantime, since it's been a couple of days. A couple of people haven't resubbed, but we're still really, really close. Like, I think 250 is achievable. It's just a matter of time, really. It's always going up, slowly but surely. It's going up. So there you go, both players docking on the front and pretty much directly opposite each other. Seems like they're going to be executing pretty much an identical build here. In fact, look at these docks. Look at the timings on these docks. They are going to go up at almost identical times. What TaToH will go up first, and then bosh, like that. Talk about timing. Talk about timing. Both of them now are going to go take some shorefish. It's like we're watching a mirror here. There's like a mirror across the center of the map as TaToH takes the shorefish, and Goku takes some shorefish as well. He's going to build a house here as well. One thing I noticed in the last series, actually, Goku got housed a lot. And that's, you know, that's a little worrying. Getting housed at a really high level can really hurt quite a lot. So it's really important that these players don't get housed as much as possible. And you can see, look at that in the mirror once again. TaToH building a house, going back to take the shorefish. Goku building a house, taking the shorefish. Two fishing ships coming out identical times. Yeah, there's really no variance here between what these two players are doing. Even the villagers walking back at identical time. Like this, just ridiculous how similar these guys are playing. The difference, though, obviously here at the moment I'm spotting out is that Goku was a little faster taking his second ball, I think, and also TaToH's second ball lure has been a lot less effective. Like, he's a little further from the TC. This will hurt his food income slightly, but I don't think it will hurt his feudal age too badly. So he's going to just hop inside the TC now, and we should see 3 fishing ships out, and then they'll click up to feudal and get the 4th out as well. And I guess the question then is, will they go for 4 docks? Will they go for 3? The chances are we'll see 4 docks from both. but there's never any guarantees. TaToH now doing loom. Goku has loom already, and that could mean that Goku's going to click up to the feudal age first here if he drops the food. He's 50 food short. If he drops these villagers now, he should just have it 20 food short. It's really, really close, but he's 6 food away, and he's up. There you go. TaToH is also up, and both of these guys clicking up within a second of each other. Goku ahead by 1 second. I mean, there is so little in it. Look at that. They're both on like 30 and 14%. It's so close. The build order, obviously, for water maps is pretty damn set in stone. And that is, it's unfortunate, really. But I think, like I said, this map certainly has the potential for more upsets, and that's because, well, for Goku here, if he wants to watch the right side of his island, it's a lot of land to cover, so a landing can happen, but it's usually pretty obvious when a landing's coming in. You know, like it's pretty obvious when a landing is going to happen because your opponent starts making less galleys. If they plan a landing from the word go, then they may only make 2 or 3 docks versus 4, which Goku will do. And well, I say he will do. I mean, I've not seen this game, so what I mean is, if Goku did that and TaToH made 2 or 3, then it's a dead giveaway that Goku will be in for a landing, and he can easily just wall up. Like this right side, for instance, I know the gold's in a pretty bad spot, but right here he can wall, and right down here he can wall as well, and that basically means that if a landing comes in on the entire right side of his island, it's very easy, very easy to negate it. So Goku up to feudal, TaToH up to feudal, and both of them at the moment sitting on just 2 docks, 2 galleys coming out, and the 3rd dock will be made in just a moment. TaToH, 3rd dock coming up a little sooner. Looks like he actually does have a little bit more wood, and I don't know why that might be. Maybe his wood camp a little bit more efficient. Obviously, drop-off point placement can be really important. If you have a look at TaToH's wood line, it's actually pretty nice. I mean, he's got that micro pretty good. No blocking going on, nothing like that. Looking at Goku's wood line, this one's great. This one up in the north, not so great, but he does have less villagers gathering here, and there's still not a huge amount of blocking or anything like that. So I think both of them very similar at the moment. Villager count 22 for TaToH, just 21 for Goku here. And he's actually got an idle TC at the moment, which is a bad sign. And in fact, you see TaToH here adding villagers straight back onto food so that he can get a little more food income. Well, Goku doesn't have that, and Goku at the moment, a little bit of idle TC time. He's now 2 villagers behind. So that's the very small things that can have a big impact on the game. And I think what he'll do very similar now is, yeah, there you go, sending villagers back out to village going straight out to the sheep. So the food here for Goku is a little bit of a problem, and because of that, he might be a little bit delayed getting fletching. Fletching is really important on water wars, and it will really give whoever gets it first a big advantage if they are fighting when it pops. Good micro from TaToH coming in, focusing down on the galleys. He needs to focus and try to bring them down as quickly as possible. Looks like he's winning this fight pretty nicely here, and Goku trying to micro out of the way. This one ship, though, very low. 2 ships down, well, 1 ship down for each, and there's another for Goku there. So I think TaToH getting ahead simply in the micro war here, which is very nice, and he's not going to be worried at this point about fletching too much. But look at this, he's going to hit those fishing ships, and this is going to be really nasty, because remember what we were saying a minute ago, Goku really tight for food, really hard pressed to keep that villager production going. Well, that was only being propped up by his 4 fishing ships, and if they go down, no food income, and little food income, and a very hard time keeping villagers coming out. Meanwhile, though, Goku's going for TaToH's ships as well. We see 1 go down, and at the moment Goku's kept all 4 of his alive, but they aren't gathering, so that's no food income there anyway. But I think he'll be able to safely gather very soon. Although saying that, TaToH has got a couple of rogue galleys out on the left side, and at the moment he has got a good military advantage as well. 11 galleys to 7. So at this point, Goku has to make a decision. What's he gonna do? There's a few options here for him. There's a few options. Option A would be to do fletching and garrison some galleys inside of these docks. He started doing galleys inside already. and try and maybe get ahead through the fletching route. He could try and suicide some galleys to bring down TaToH's fishing ships and get rid of that advantage that he might have. At the moment, he is losing his fishes. And there you go, Goku is actually doing fletching right now. So I think that was his plan. Fletching here and to try and gain a small advantage. TaToH, meanwhile, he's not got a blacksmith yet, though he might be building one soon. There it is at the back, and we'll see fletching coming out from him very soon. But there you go, fletching done for Goku now. He's going to have the advantage in the micro war. He's still kept his 4 fishing ships alive, though not for long if TaToH comes in over here. And TaToH now with a military advantage of 6, but disadvantaged by the fact he doesn't have fletching. But still, I mean, look at this, Goku pretty surrounded. It looks like he does want to go for those fishing ships, given that he's just making a beeline for them, and TaToH's really pulling ahead here. Goku still, though, galleys inside of the docks, and I'm surprised he didn't really go back towards his docks and pop those galleys out to try and support them. Leaving these 3 galleys over here to just get whittled away is not good, and TaToH now has got fletching as well, and he's chasing those fishing ships down at the back. So war's control in favor of TaToH. Goku's first plan of getting fletching and doing it, well, trying to push with fletching and garrisoning inside didn't really work out, and it's not going to work out now either since he's so heavily outnumbered. So then we're left with, well, what can he do? Well, Goku here, I think he's either going to have to try and do some back docks and try and retake the water that way, which is probably the most likely thing we will see, or try and pick some really good fights. On the left side, he's picking a good fight here. He should get a couple of kills. Or, right, there are plenty of options. Try and get to the castle age a little faster. Try and get to the castle age and out-tech TaToH. The risky thing with that, of course, is he may lose a dock if he does that, as he would have to maybe slow down some galley production. And I guess other options could be to do a landing, which would be pretty extreme and very, very unlikely to work, but could be worth a try. You never know. At the moment, though, Goku is definitely picking these fights quite well. TaToH's pretty split up. He's got half his army on the left, half his army on the right, and Goku's just going to come in and pressure this. At the very least, he could push TaToH back and get the fishing ships, perhaps, and TaToH's going to do everything he can to avoid that from happening. But you can see Goku's going straight for them here, and TaToH's, well, going to run them away. Goku now, he's got a really important decision. Does he chase the fishing ships, or does he try and fight this army while he has some kind of advantage? He's going to go and chase the ships, and I don't know if that's going to pay off too well for him. Looking at his line of sight, his fishing ships have doubled back, and he's actually, I thought he was going to scout that with his actual scout cavalry there, but he's now going over to the right side, leaving his docks really exposed. TaToH could start attacking the dock, whittling down its HP. It's already got a little bit missing. And Goku's off on the right side doing, well, heaven knows what. TaToH, though, this just to show you how far ahead he is here, just how good his water build order is, he's actually about to click up to the castle age now. There it is, castle age incoming. So not only does he have a military advantage on the water, but he's also up to the castle age first, which means War Galley will be coming out very soon. And once War Galley is researched, your galleys will produce 50% faster as well. So not only does War Galley give you like that tech edge, the fact that your units are stronger, but it also gives you the military production edge as well. And when you consider once you hit castle age, you can start doing things like bow saw to increase your wood gathering rates. That faster production can certainly be met, and TaToH here will probably pull ahead even further there if Goku's too slow to hit castle. At the moment, he's miles away. TaToH still has this really nice advantage on the military count, and he's starting to take down this dock as well, which for Goku is pretty nasty, because if he has to rebuild it, that's yet more wood that he is missing. So I'm surprised really that they have managed to keep their fishing ships alive. Both of them have 3 fishing ships still, though I don't think Goku's going to have his for much longer. They've been idle for quite a while. I guess really the question is, well, how is Goku so pressed for food right now? How is TaToH able to click up to the castle age so much faster? Well, I think part of that answer is the villager count. You saw TaToH there, he's got 37 villagers versus Goku's 35, and he's been going up to the castle age for a little while. So, I mean, he probably would have 39 now, or more, if he hadn't clicked up to the castle age. So that villager advantage, certainly giving him a little bit of surplus food. He prioritized taking food really quickly once he hit the feudal age. He took his berries very fast, and he started seeding farms very quickly as well. Goku now has got the farms, but you see his just finished off that. A lot of villagers on berries, but I think he was much later adding those villagers in. So I think that's probably the biggest thing, like the extra villagers that TaToH had, and the fact that Goku was slower to add those villagers over to berries and to farms there. So Goku's closing in on that 800 food, but until he has it, he's going to be screwed. And TaToH now, War Galley, Bodkin Arrow, as we know, coming in. And I think I saw earlier as well, Goku trying to put up another dock here, but failed. This dock's going to go down. And things are looking very, very bleak for Goku in this first game. Now, some players much better at doing water than others, and I think TaToH definitely a very strong water player. There you see War Galley and Bodkin Arrow. You also see Bowsaw now coming in as well, and he's added that extra dock. Struggling at the moment to keep docks working, but once Bowsaw comes in, with this many villagers on wood, he's got 25 lumberjacks, he should be able to keep up with demand, and maybe even throw up a new TC at some point. But University first, which is usually how it's done, for ballistics of course, to give you every advantage on the water. Goku now then, I mean, I think it's a little late to really attempt a landing. If he tries a landing now, Goku will struggle. TaToH's going to have a much higher awareness of the fact that a landing could come in at this point. Generally speaking, a player won't try to land unless they've already lost the water, and TaToH is definitely going to be aware of a potential landing now. He's started to build these houses along the shoreline, obviously for vision. At the moment he doesn't have Town Watch, but he is doing Town Watch. I was literally just about to say, Town Watch will increase the vision on them, give him more line of sight along the shoreline, and this is a really common tactic actually in Team Islands. It's really worthwhile doing this. And just have one villager build houses all the way around. You see the Fog of War really lifted, and obviously that's going to give TaToH a huge heads up of any potential landing on this right hand side. So he's going to be wary of that, and he's now splitting up as well, taking his galleys to this right hand side. Damn muted spy. There you go. And he's going to go ahead and find these docks really quickly, in fact denying that dock. And I think Goku probably going to want to call GG very quickly here at this rate, because, well, unless he can get back on the water, it's game over for him. He does still have, you know, a tiny bit of hope left. He's got some hope, I guess. He has got these galleys on the right-hand side. He may do the War Galley upgrade now. He is, and he's doing Bodkin Arrow as well. He is so determined to win this water fight. But when you're fighting, you know, against an army that is nearly double yours, it's very difficult. Very difficult unless you can get some kind of tech advantage, and we know already that Goku is behind there. So what's Goku's plan now? Well, obviously War Galley's coming in. Again, if he can pick some good fights, then that would be very good for him. If he can find some of TaToH's galleys, he might be able to even up the scores on the water a little bit. But it's not going to be easy for him to rebuild his docks now. Now, what we do see happening is, since those docks have gone down, he's obviously got this surplus of wood now. Since he wasn't making any war galleys, he's now got this big excess of wood, so he's going to throw up 2 TCs straight away. TaToH only just adding his third TC now, but he was so far ahead to castle, he still had the time to get ballistics, which does slow down your second and third TC, and now he's getting them anyway. Now University coming in for Goku a lot later, obviously. TC's coming in a bit later as well. And one of the things you can do to try and come back when your opponent gets the castle age faster and you start losing water is to try and beat them to imp, try and have a faster and better boom. That can work, but it's something that's still very difficult to pull off. Still, Goku rebuilding his docks now, and it's certainly possible for him to regain water control if TaToH keeps his army split up and, you know, doesn't keep on top of bringing down these docks here. But I think at the moment, TaToH has definitely got this game very comfortably, unless Goku could do something absolutely extraordinary. You see a ton of wood still for TaToH. He's not going to let up on that galley production. They're just queuing, well, he's queuing as many as he can, as much gold as he's got, or as many as he can with the gold income he has, rather. And at the moment, yeah, starting to bring down houses. It's just getting, the wood bill for Goku is just going through the roof. It's terrible. It's like a teenage girl with with a contract phone, always spending their minutes and going over, costing their parents thousands of pounds every month. That's what Goku's wood build's looking like right now. All these docks he's having to rebuild, it's costly. And all those docks, all the, you know, this well, it's slightly less for the Vikings, but all of the wood he's had to invest in building the docks, well, they could be ships right now, they could be farms, they could be, you know, another TC, or they could have been these TCs. So, obviously, looking very bleak. But yes, TaToH looking pretty comfortable, and I think it's fair to say Goku is definitely a better land map player. TaToH, though, actually making a little mistake there. He kind of patrolled, but he didn't patrol far enough. I think he should have probably engaged that fight completely. Again, TaToH! This is bad. This is really bad. He's like throwing a few units in on the right, sending his units away on the left, then throwing his units in on the left, and this is giving Goku an opportunity to kind of come back a little bit. Warlock L asks if longboats are worse than war galleys. Longboats, elite longboats are on par, really, with galleons. And they're pretty much identical. If you put a galleon against an elite longboat, it's going to be very close. I think the galleon wins by a small amount. Very, very tiny. The reason you don't see longboats, though, is because they need a castle first. And Goku here, you know, if he was to spend 650 resources or taking stone, that's 650 less wood and gold he could have, and he's going to get outnumbered on the water. The only real time that longboats are viable or a real option is when you're trying to retake the water in the Imperial Age, because they do create faster than war galleys. So if you're trying to get a greater number of boats, then getting longboats out will be better. So there's the GG from Goku there. He's obviously fighting on the water, a fight that cannot be won. And if you have a quick look at the population graph, you could just see that big dip there from Goku, and a small little increase almost at the end as TaToH just recovers his losses so quickly. I mean, that flat line from TaToH there and that dip from Goku just shows how outnumbered Goku was in that fight. I think he was fighting 2 against 1, and was it Lanchester's laws really coming into play there. Well played though by TaToH. I mean, a comfortable win. There wasn't really much competition there on the water after the feudal age, and I think he did very, very good. And honestly, I think TaToH is just a very strong water player. I mean, some players, they sit and play Arabia all day and they get really good at land maps. Other players, they play full random and they, you know, a bit more all-rounders. Other guys, they'll play water maps 24/7 and they'll get really good at that. I think Goku's more of a land player. I think TaToH's more of a full random kind of player who will play different maps, not necessarily water all day, but that's obviously given him that advantage, and I think he's definitely a stronger player on water. I don't know how many other water maps there's going to be in this event, and we'll have to wait and see. But G to the G, and let's come back, put that point on the board for TaToH after game number 1. Of course, this is a best of 9, so there are plenty more games to come. It's the first of 5 wins, and obviously that's win number 1 under the players' belts. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Much appreciated. Don't forget to follow the stream if you haven't already. And if Twitch is being nice to us, you'll get an email notification when the stream goes live. Okie doke. We're getting to game number 2 now. I tend to play an ad every 2 games, just so I can take a minute's break, but obviously that was a pretty short game. Alright, second game, and it's Baltico. Looks like we're going to see a Viking war again. A little bit disappointing, I guess, but